Chicken Shack, like the Rolling Stones, is just one of the many British groups who owe their success entirely to the power of blues. A very different sound and hard to recognize as blues, but the anguish and joy remain.
Down the road I'm gone.
Paul Oliver is the accepted world expert on the history of the blues. The story began with a field holler.
It's the kind of song which probably preceded blues, almost certainly did. It's very blues-like in character, really, except that it's very free in its form.
Every time don't get no better. Every time don't get no better here. I'm down the road, I'm gone.
It's the kind of song which really accompanies work in the fields and was characteristic of probably the forms before blues, but right through the blues history as well.
Pop has changed this generation's way of life, but pop music itself is based on Negro blues.
Young white groups felt a kind of bond of sympathy with a sector of the community that had been cut off. A generation which also was feeling consciously a separation from sort of the establishment. That plus its sort of immediacy and its aggressiveness and its sheer loudness, it seemed to be the natural kind of music for them. Many of the elements of the European tradition obviously came into blues. I mean, the slaves had to adapt to a European scale of music and to structures of music which quite clearly relate to English song. This example is by a blues singer named Pegleg Howell, who was recorded about the mid-20s. Pegleg Howell was a one-legged street singer, and what he sang were songs which quite obviously owe a lot to the holler tradition, but the content and even the verses of this song clearly relate to the European tradition. In fact, the two are blended together. It's a very primitive and early kind of blues. It's guitar with fiddle. You don't hear fiddle blues very often. What is interesting is that this particular blues is not a 12-bar blues, which has now become part of the whole popular structure of blues form. But this time it's an 8-bar blues. It's like half of a 16-bar European song. British groups and the young white groups, American ones as well, tend to move away from blues before very long.
Woke up this morning, got on the stroll, met my baby, got a toe. Look here, babe, you're singing wrong. let your papa help you to sing this song. I grabbed my coat and hat down the road I started.
One of the direct results of the influence of blues has been to shake off some inhibitions of our past. Few groups would have played with the abandon of Chicken Shack 10 years ago.
And I was very impressed with Chicken Shack because they played that stomping sort of thing that when it's well played, it gives it a tremendous swing, a very clear sort of sound, which I associate almost as much with Count Basie.